And you're still watching Prime Morning. It's the midweek edition, and anytime it's midweek, you know what comes your way, the big interview. It's time for us to talk to our guest. But before we talk to our guest, I know this conversation is definitely going to be fantastic. Now, if you have any message for our guest, you ought to send it to us. It's 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757. Send your messages to us, and we will ask our guest if he has a compliment as well. Why not send it to us? Don't forget that today being a Wednesday, we are definitely having changes at exactly 1 p.m. Just in case you missed what happened last week Friday, I think it's only good for you to take a look at the snippet and know what to expect today. Now, today is going to be different. Today we are barbering hair in the studio. Not just that, we also having Juliet Asante right here with us, and we'll be talking about how she's been able to get to where she is today. And Keche, of course, will be here also to serenade us. So, you know, today we are going to put on our dancing shoes. And, of course, our very own DJ Bredash will be on the turntables as well. I cannot wait for it. But let's take a look at the snippet of what happened on Friday. And when we come back, I'll let you meet my guest for the big interview. All right?
I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me.
I've been seeing this diabetes problem on TV. They cut gradually. You go another time, they cut again. Why don't you cut it once and for all? So do you understand what you are saying? I say, yes. The leg is mine.
Marriage is not an escape route from fornication. I hear a lot of men of God advising young ministers, oh, one in them. But you see, I have a little problem with that.
This is like a TV personality kind of look.
Okay, this is going more towards the TV personality people.
Okay.
A bank.
There's many more to expect today during changes at exactly 1 p.m. But before then, this conversation is very, very sweet. I speak prophetically into my conversations because when you speak like that, the conversations becomes great. Now, this man I have admired for so many years, especially being a barracks girl and knowing that his career started from the barracks. Of course, I have so much interest in him. I want you to take a look at his profile video, and when we come back, we'll get to meet the man himself who is seated right next to me. Take a look.
Nkrabea is a Ghanaian politician and was the Member of Parliament for the Brekum constituency in the 3rd and 4th Parliaments of the 4th Republic of Ghana. Efat is a lawyer by profession. He practices in his own private law firm. Efat is a retired military officer who served in the Ghanaian Army. He was promoted to the rank of captain on the 27th of April, 1983. On August 14, 1983, he exited from the armed forces. He was elected as the Member of Parliament twice to represent the Brekum constituency in the Brong-Ahafo region in the 2000 and 2004 Ghanaian general elections. He has also worked as a Deputy Minister of Interior. Efat is married with 4 children and a staunch Christian. Ladies and gentlemen, he is our guest for big interview today. Stay tuned.
So you have seen who our guest for the big interview is, and he's seated right next to me, Captain Lawyer Nkrabea Ifadate. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm fine, by God's grace.
We thank God. Now, when you started with By God's Grace, you have a favorite song, so maybe we should start with your favorite song. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't
we should
mind.
do it. So it's Machera Deni, right?
Yes.
So let's sing it.
Ma jenga wura dienim wabire na suase, watie me mpaibo. Na odimesi obotanso, odimi na yatintim ho, semere shiasida. Na odi ejuma shemano, ejum fufurubi, aye yinyum, a eti yasi, me mama sayatinika, na wa janga beto anu, na wa ye ugwanko bea. Shiranka onipa odene huntu ewuradeso na ochenani medie meboni dinda me bora dinidi memane suachire amansanyina efise oye owura efise oye owura na chirini nanim obinti se ono oye titi nyame.
You sing so well. Have you joined the choir before?
Yes, I was a chorister.
Oh, no wonder. In what church?
Presby, Jinjini.
Okay, so are you still a chorister or you stopped?
Oh, well. When I go to Jinjini, they don't allow me to roam anymore.
So when did this song become your favorite song?
Well, when my mother died in 1997 at the funeral service, a young lady came to sing this song. And I was impressed with the song and the words. So I memorized it and I started singing it. And when I was campaigning for Parliament, I used it as my theme song.
Yeah.
And it's been with me since then.
Fantastic. Will you say that is one of the tools that aided you in winning the seat to go to Parliament in the year 2000?
Well, I would say so because at every opportunity, at the rally grounds and on television and on radio programs, I always sang the song. So it was a little refreshing to have a politician who was coming along with music.
Yeah.
You know, it helped.
And it aided.
Yes.
You got a massive number when you actually decided to go to Parliament. Your number was over 60%, and the second time you contested, you also got over 60%.
Yes.
What has been your strategy that time?
Well, fortunately for me, my opponent at the time, who was J.H. Ousa Champon, had been in power for, let's say, 8 years. And Brekum, where I was contesting, is predominantly MPP. And then they chose me on a scientific basis that the next big town in the constituency, which was Jine, my birthplace, should produce a candidate.
Okay.
So I was picked, you know, by the people of Jine that this is the guy we want.
Oh, right.
And Brekum accepted me.
Okay.
And so it has always confirmed what Kwashega, the late MPP organizer, told us, that when you are going for any election, you should sit in the boardroom and do a scientific analysis and pick a scientific candidate, the closest person towards the best winning candidate, the profile.
Right.
And in most cases, that person will win. And that's how come, by the grace of God,
you won the seat twice.
Yes.
Went to Parliament.
Yes.
Now, were you a member of the NPP?
Yes, I was, but on the quiet side, you know, because Rollins and I disagreed on so many things.
I was going to ask you that. He was a very good friend of yours. But at a point in time, you fell out.
Well, yes, I must confess, I joined the military from Legon because of Boachijan and Jerry Rollins. There were 2 parties, and I joined them, and we became 3 parties, and we were very close friends. Then, because of the 2 of them, I enlisted to be a soldier, and I was sent to Sandhurst and came back. When I came, then they did their coup, 4th June. I was not part of it, but subsequently, the 31st came, and Rollins apparently, he knew me so well, so well, but he didn't like my persona.
Why, did he see you as a threat?
Well, I would say he saw me as a threat, but I would say he didn't like my persona.
Okay.
So he didn't want me around him. He didn't want me to be a member of the PNDC, and he gave me no opportunity to be part of his administration. And from afar, I didn't like what he was doing. So I was MPP from its foundation.
Right.
But I was scared that if I put my head too much, he might
Kill you.
Yes. So I was in the wings until the people of Ginjini came and said I should come out and represent Brekum in Parliament.
But you were still jailed by him.
Yes, I was jailed by him. In fact, 3 months before I was supposed to be promoted captain.
Yes.
And I was going around chasing the military secretary and the Minister of Defense for my promotion from lieutenant to captain.
Right.
Around that time, just as the publication was due that Lieutenant Efadati has been promoted captain, then I was arrested. So I was arrested as a lieutenant, and it was because of him.
Right.
He orchestrated my arrest, and I was detained for 6 months. And in some, I was not tried, I was not queried, nothing, and I was just there. And then I remember so well the CEO of my unit. He told me later, one-on-one, that the records came from military secretary that I was due for promotion. But I was in custody, and he didn't understand. So he asked the brigade commander, Brigadier Abana, and he said, go ahead and publish it. So he published that I've been promoted captain.
Whilst you were in jail?
Whilst I was in jail. So I was released on 6 September 1983.
Okay.
I came to see that I was a captain. And but General Kwenu, the army commander, told me I have been retired. It's very well. So unfortunately for me, I wore the rank of captain only one day.
Oh, wow. That's unfortunate. How did you feel about it, though?
Well, it was nice dressed as a captain, young captain. But you can imagine how I felt when I went for interview with General Kwenu, and he told me, we have been retired. I said, well, at least thank God I have my head to survive.
Yeah. And
already I was a law graduate to 2nd class upper. So my mates were Bujalumo, Charles Haibo, Kofi Abuaji, they were making it big. So quickly I went back to the law school, and by God's grace, I qualified as a lawyer 3rd October 1986.
Oh, wow.
Together with the current Chief Justice.
Okay.
And then we started surviving.
Yeah.
Until Brekum people came and...
I took you to Parliament, but how was Parliament to your time?
Oh, indeed, I must confess, it's the most exciting period of my life.
Okay.
Partly because of the intellectual debates that go on the floor of the House. You know, I would say that from my own experience, if you are not somebody who is interested in debates and talking issues and so on, then Parliament is not a place for you.
Okay.
Because Parliament, parler, French word parler, talking, it's a talk shop.
Okay.
You know.
And you like to talk.
And I'm a lawyer, you know, I enjoy talking.
Right.
So we go to Parliament, we argue issues, and I never missed a sitting in Parliament unless it's unavoidable.
Oh,
I never
nice.
missed. It's very interesting, you know. And one thing I miss in Parliament, even now, is there's always an opportunity for a member's statement.
Okay.
Any member of Parliament can at any time stand up and make a statement. And when a member makes a statement, then you can stand up and comment. Oh, madam, it's very interesting.
Will you want to go back to
Oh,
Parliament?
yes. In fact, just for the joy of parley, you know.
So are you going to contest again?
Well, I don't see myself. Brekum is now divided into two. You know, I was MP for Brekum, but now we have Brekum East and Brekum West. And my hometown, Jene, is in Brekum West. And Brekum East is predominantly Brekum, metropolitan Brekum.
Right.
But Brekum West is now shaky. I don't know what the fortunes are.
Now, let's go back to this. Lawyer Maurice Ampao made some statements about you some time ago that you were not too happy about. He said that you were a failure as a lawyer, as a military man, and you were quite hurt about it. Have you forgiven him for the statement he made?
The question is, have I forgiven him?
Yes.
Well, if I should be honest to you, and I'm sure millions are watching your program, so I must be honest and say that, yes, I have forgiven him, because we sin, we make mistakes. But what is unpardonable for me is for you, a human being, to open your mouth to say things that you don't know about, to pass judgment without basis, when you don't have facts, accurate facts. Because if you describe me as a failure in law and in politics,
And in the military.
and in the military, a failure. A failure is somebody who has attempted to do something and has not achieved what he wanted to achieve. So, in the military, I joined the military. By God's grace, I was chosen among my mates in Take 20. I was selected among in Take 20, the first batch, and sent to Sandhurst. And Sandhurst Royal Military Academy in UK. I was there for 1.5 years. And I was given the best overseas cadet prize. I came on top of my intake and got back to Ghana. And I was rising. But unfortunately for me, because of the political situation at the time, the military was involved in politics. I passed my promotional exams. So if you say I'm a failure in the military, I don't understand.
So for you, that's unpardonable. What if he comes to apologize to you?
Oh, if he comes to apologize, why not? I'll smile and say, oh, Maurice, it's one of those things.
But until then?
Well, it's one of those things.
I like that. Now, this case that you decided to take on caused a little bit of controversy. I'm talking about the Aisha 1 case. Why did you decide to defend Aisha 1?
Oh, madam, what an interesting question. One of our lecturers at the law school was B.J. Darocha. And he lectured us in civil procedure. And I remember he always said that as a lawyer, you should never, ever turn away any client.
Okay.
You should never,
No matter
ever,
how bad the
no
case
matter
is.
how bad the case is. And it's almost, I have found from practice 38 years of legal practice that I'm not a judge. Mine is to authenticate and accentuate your side of the story to the best of my ability. The final decision as to whether you are guilty or not is that by the judge, not me. So why should I take a mental decision that you are guilty so I won't defend you? No.
Okay. But what was it about the money too?
Oh, money. Personally, as Nkrabea father, I've never used money as a factor in selecting clients.
But
Never.
what about Aisha one? Was money the reason?
No.
It wasn't?
No, Aisha one, no.
Yeah.
Aisha one, I got to defend Aisha one because of recommendation.
Okay.
Somebody recommended me to her, and she came, and I took up the matter. And I was doing my best for her. And like I try to do in all clients' cases. I try because I've noticed that Darocha told us in class that 95% of the clients you get come from recommendation. So you, the lawyer, you don't go out fishing for cases. The clients will hear of your name, they will see you at work, and they will come
for you.
For you, you know. So.
But people thought the money was good. That's why you decided to defend her.
No. How much?
How much was it?
How much was it?
How much did you charge?
Do I even recall right now? Honestly.
But did she pay all?
Well, you see, your question is good. Most lawyers, they charge heavily.
Yeah.
And when I started practicing as a lawyer, I used to charge heavily.
Okay.
Until a very good senior lawyer, now I forget his name even, he told me that, look, Captain, it is not true that lawyers, their fees are always paid in full. It is not true.
Oh, okay.
And that most of the time, what happens is that clients pay deposits. They pay deposits. And then as time goes on, they try to build up.
Okay.
So because of that advice, I forget this famous lawyer's name. Because of that advice, in my second year of practice as a lawyer, I stopped charging heavily.
Okay.
So now, all these 38 years, and in fact, all the lawyers in my chambers, we charge on the basis of quantum meruit, as much as you have earned.
Okay.
So you come and I tell you, madam, this is your case. The first thing I have to do is to get bail. And the bail is so much.
Okay.
If you don't pay, I don't go.
Oh,
so you pay for bail, I do it. Then after that, this is your case, the next stage is witness statement.
Okay.
It's to cost so much. You pay, I do it. So at any point in time, should I say, I have 96%, if not 100% payment.
Wow.
Yes, because you pay as we go along.
Okay.
At any point in time, I don't owe you, you don't owe me.
But have you ever had a pro bono case?
Oh, pro bono cases is plenty, time out of number. But you see, God in heaven works in
mysterious ways.
So mysterious ways that it amazes me. Several times in the courtroom, and occasionally when I'm in the office, it happens like that. But several times in the courtroom, I see somebody desperate, standing there without a client, without a lawyer, and the case is miserable. Then I offer myself to do it for free. And God turns around one way and brings me so much money.
That's fantastic.
I remember one day, an army officer who was my colleague when I was a soldier, he was arrested, and his relatives came to see me that I should take bail for him, treason. Then they asked me, how much would you charge, Captain? Then I said, my relationship with that officer is such that if I take any money, God will punish me.
Wow.
So I can't ask for money. So I did it for free, and by the grace of God, he was acquitted and discharged. But that case, the money that other people brought,
It was so much. Lawyer, let me ask you this. You did say that when the Chief Justice released a statement with regards to Aisha Wan's case becoming null and void and it's been, thrown out of court, you were very disappointed with it. Why? I mean, it's a case that, yes, you've started. Yes, they say we should let it go. Why do you become disappointed?
Aisha Wan's case.
Yes.
Oh, I must be sincere and say that the facts are now a little hazy in my mind. So I may not be very exact as to what happened. But the guiding principle has always been to do the best for my clients in the interest of justice.
Right.
Beyond that,
nothing else.
Nothing else.
But were you surprised when she was repatriated to China?
No, I was not surprised.
Why were you not?
Oh, but, well, you see, law is such that every lawyer will tell you, as you are sitting here, the way you are looking at me, that's not the way other viewers are looking at me because of vision and angle and so on. And the judge in the middle can decide to look at it from whichever angle the judge prefers. So, madam, that's how the law works.
Okay.
And once you have this mindset, you should sail through in law.
That's fantastic.
That it is not, you don't have the whole picture. You don't have the total picture. It's like a coin. You are looking at one side, I'm looking at one side. And which side is the judge looking at?
Okay, so that's how it is.
Yes. Which side is the judge looking at? That's how it always is. And the most important thing is for you as a lawyer to try and project your side as much as possible so that the judge will look at the coin from your side.
From your side. Let's look at politics. You were in government or you were in parliament during the Kufuor era. And looking at this era under the Akufo-Addo government, do you think the Akufo-Addo government have done fantastically well to be able to break the 8 easily?
Well, this question, I didn't anticipate this question coming. But you see, what I learned in Parliament and what I saw in Parliament is that, madam, all politics is local.
It's local. When you say it's local, what does it mean?
When I say local, what I'm trying to say is that as I speak to you here in this studio in Accra, Newtown, or Kukumlemle, the issues that confront you or worry you are different from the issues confronting the people of Jine, where I was born.
Right.
Or the issues confronting the people of Keta. Or the issues confronting the people of Jumanku. Or the issues confronting the people of Talensi Nabdam. Or whichever part of Ghana. You understand? So I think if my party, MPP, and I am MPP, have no doubt.
Yeah.
Listeners should have no doubt in their mind that me, I am MPP. If we in MPP want to break the 8, the only way to go about it is to concentrate at the constituency level.
Okay.
At the constituency level. You'll be surprised to hear that in maybe one constituency, the chief is so influential that you need his support in order to win the seat. You might also be surprised to hear that in one constituency, perhaps their biggest problem is a bridge over a river or water supply or a market,
right,
or something that you in Accra here is not an issue.
So it's not about the dollar to the city ratio
dollar.
And
The people of Jinjini, how many dollars do they see in a day? So if you are sitting in Accra complaining that the dollar is 15 cedis or 16 cedis, what is the dollar to those in Bunkpurugu Yonyo? You know, in Bunkpurugu, they don't chop dollars, they chop cedis. And I was surprised when, I think a few days ago, somebody told me that even 20 cedi note, 20 cedi note for somebody in the villages is a priceless gift.
Wow.
20 cedi note. Something that in Accra here, if you give to your child to go to school, she'll complain. That is nothing. You know. So all politics is local. We should concentrate at the constituency level. And that is why Kwashikan said we should select a parliamentary candidate who fits into a scientific situation. If you choose that person and you market him well at the constituency level, and make no mistake, in Brekum, before I won the election, the prognosis was that Brekum Central will vote for MPP.
Okay.
But the villages will vote for Usa Champo. So, yes, Brekum Central, we did rallies. But not much. My hometown, because I was from Jine, no problem. But the villages, madam, we concentrated on the villages so much that J. Kufuor was campaigning nationally. But in Brekum, I was there.
Okay.
And when the results came, MPP won in Brekum Central, MPP won in my hometown, Jine, and MPP beat NDC resoundingly in all the villages combined. So all politics is local. MPP right now, we have a Muslim as a presidential candidate and Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as a vice presidential candidate.
Yeah.
My recommendation is that parliamentary candidates should not just all be following these two great men, but they should be in their constituencies and be working there on day-to-day basis. Relate with the voters. Let those who cast the ballot see you and relate with you one-on-one.
So it's not about following to the campaign ground?
Yes. Because Bawumia cannot be everywhere at the same time. And Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh cannot be everywhere at the same time. But you, the MP, your constituency, your field, your locality is limited. Be there, be there.
You did mention that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a Muslim. Is this an advantage for the NPP party?
I won't say it's an advantage, but it is definitely not a disadvantage.
Okay.
It is definitely not a disadvantage. It all, as Major Kwashikan told us, it's all a question of marketing.
Okay.
And it's all a question of the approach. It's all a question of the approach. And like I'm saying, in today's media reportage, Dr. Bawumia is in Eastern Region campaigning. That's fine. He should continue. But I'm expecting that once he leaves Asojama this constituency, the MPP parliamentary candidate and the constituency executives should build on what he came to do there.
Okay.
They should cover all the polling stations. They shouldn't just say that, oh, Bawumia has been here, so it's a done deal. It's not. It's not. Because yesterday, interesting enough, I was watching the news on television.
Right.
And if you see the crowd that met Dr. Bawumia, and you see the crowd that met John Mahama, it's the same people who are going to cut.
Same people meeting both. So who is voting for who?
Who is voting for who? Answer me. Who is voting for
Right.
who? So you will easily be deceived by the crowd that you see at rallies. But the actuality is in the groundwork.
Do you think money is an influence?
Money Not in a general election.
Okay.
Not in a general election, because you can't pay everybody. Maybe in when you go for this delegates conference and to select parliamentary candidates or flag bearers, maybe money can play an influence. But for a general election, you can't pay everybody. You can't. They'll just chop your money, you know. So I think that you should rather, as Major Kwasigan said, you should do scientific planning on the table. See what has to be done and do it, and you will win.
You win. You are an Akora.
Akora?
Yeah, it's called Accra.
Accra.
Accra. Okay, you're Accra?
Yeah, Achimota School.
Yeah.
Yes.
Proud one.
Oh.
Which year did you attend Achimota?
I went to Achimota 1967,
Okay.
October.
Okay.
Form 1, from Jine Presby.
Okay.
And I was there for 7 years. I was in Nkrabea House, and I left Upper 6 for 1974 to Legon.
To Legon?
I'm a proud Akora.
That's great. And when you went to Legon, you were a vandal.
Yes, I was JCR president.
JCR president.
I was president of the Commonwealth for
Wow.
JCR. Yes.
Wow. Tell us how it was like back then in the university as a vandal.
Oh, well, I enjoyed Commonwealth for and Legon because, shall we say, because I was young. How old was I? 21, 22. You know, I didn't have a wife, no child, and I thought the world was there for the taking. You know, I was attracted by communist, leftist, socialist dogma, the people's this, people's that, common things. So idealism, you know, it was very exciting. Until later in life, I got a woman to marry and my children started appearing. Then I realized...
Life is not what it seems.
Life is not what it seems. Life is not what it seems. Because you'll be tossing up in bed, wondering, how am I going to get job money for my wife tomorrow morning? And it's not easy.
It's not easy.
So...
But what made you contest to become the JCR president in Commonwealth?
Oh, well, you know, what made me want to become JCR president was my interest in politics is from infancy.
Okay.
You know, so when I was in Achimota, I was so active in so many student groups.
Okay.
And then when I went to Legon, and fortunately for me in my time, fortunately, Commonwealth we had a policy where every term we did elections.
Oh, okay.
Every term we did general elections.
Right.
So if you say you are put your popularity to the test, put your government to the test. And I did one. In fact, Banredu, who later became Minister for Finance, was my treasurer, my Minister for Finance.
That's great.
When I was called for JCR president, you know, it's interesting.
It's interesting. But at Commonwealth Hall, you chant a lot. There's songs that you chant to. What are those songs? That's one favorite one.
The songs we sing. Now, as a lawyer and as a Christian, a born-again Christian, I shudder to say some of the things openly for television.
So what, you were not a born-again Christian then?
Oh, I was in Achimota, but when I went to Legon, I was wild.
And you were very popular.
Well, I was wild.
Because to be a JCR president in Commonwealth Hall, you have to be very wild.
Well,
Extremely wild. So what calmed you down? What calmed you down?
What calmed me down? So many things. Marriage is one. Then the arrest. You know, I was arrested. I've been arrested total 5 times. You know.
5 times?
Yes.
So the first was what happened in the military?
Yes, the first. In fact, all the arrests happened in the military.
So what contributed to the other 4?
the government did not trust me. The government, the military leaders, they didn't trust me. They thought I was a problem, for stability and so on. So they kept on arresting me, and it sobered me up. It made me realize that the world is not the way I'm looking at it. So I should keep my mouth shut. I should have no friend. I should not trust anybody. I should just think of what to eat, what to wear, and the work I do. And by God's grace, it has brought me far to where I am now.
What happened when they arrested you? We hear that in the military, when you're arrested, they shave your head with bottles. Is that true?
Oh, well, let me say, by God's grace, when I was arrested, I was treated civilly.
Okay.
Nobody shaved my hair.
Okay.
Nobody removed my fingernails, no. But the places where they kept me is terrible. For instance, I was sent straight to some prisons, condemned block.
Oh, wow.
Where condemned prisoners are kept. And I was kept there for 93 days. So, madam, I saw things. I saw things in some prisons.
Like what?
I saw things. I saw things. It's terrible.
What are some of the things you saw?
Madam, maybe I shouldn't talk about it, but it's bad. I always try to not to remember my days in some prisons, especially the condemned block. 93 days, 3 months. It's terrible. It's terrible.
When you remember it, what happens to you? Do you cry?
Is that I cry?
When you remember.
When I remember, well, when I remember, any time that I remember in some prisons and condemned block, I just give glory to God that at least he guided me, he preserved me, and saw me through that experience. And don't forget, this was a time in my life when I was high flying as a Science graduate with prizes in science, came back Ghana and to be sent to some prisons. And what have I done? I had not done anything.
Was that where you found God? Was that where you became a born-again Christian?
I found God in condemned cells because I read the Holy Bible over and over from Genesis to Revelation. And then because over there in some prisons, especially in condemned block, you have no clothing, your nature suit, the way you are born.
So for 3 months,
yes,
you wore nothing?
Nothing. What do you want? Nothing. No panties, no singlet, nothing. That is the costume in some prisons condemned block. I was there 3 months.
Were you eating? Were they feeding you?
They feed you once a day. And the food they bring to you, oh God. Madam, let's talk about something else. Because in some prisons, and you see, it reminds me of a famous story. Julius Caesar, the famous Julius Caesar, his friend was arrested and tried for treason. And when the jury was considering the sentence, the popular opinion was that he should be condemned and killed. And Caesar told the jurors that death is a necessary end which will come to all of us, either through accident, sickness, whatever. So death is no punishment. Rather, take your enemy to prison. Take your enemy to prison. And me, a father, I say it, if ever in my wildest dreams, God should put me anywhere, I'll put my enemies in prison.
Wow.
stay in prison. You see a woman, you can't touch her. You can't get the food you want to eat. You can't sleep at the time you want.
To sleep.
You are under lock and key. You can't move. Yes, prison is terrible. It's worse than death. It's worse than death. It's worse than death. There was an emperor of Rome, Tiberius, a certain senator called Senator Gallus. Senator Gallus was noisy and troublesome. So Tiberius took Gallus to prison. The penalty he paid, at one point, Gallus pleaded that he should be killed. Madam.
So for you, death is better than prison?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Is that why you're an advocate for capital punishment?
Oh, me, I advocate for capital punishment because I think some offenses, like murder, or robbery. Personally, even as a lawyer now, I don't see a basis why you should steal with violence. I don't see why you should kill a fellow human being. So, personally, I think that if you commit such grievous offenses and the law takes a painstaking effort to establish your guilt, then the
should be
ultimate
capital punishment. All right, now let me bring you to a softer side. You actually have a drama group. It's a drama group, right?
Oh, yes.
Tell us about
Theatre Mirrors.
Yes, tell us about it.
Yes. The Theatre Mirrors. Part of my life, Achimota School.
Okay.
I was in the drama school in Achimota. I was in the drama club at Achimota School. And in fact, in the last year, upper six, I was given the drama trophy. And when I went to Legon even though I was a law student, I was in the drama group. So when I came out of law school and all that, I founded Theatre Mirrors Drama Society.
Oh, then it's been there for a very long time.
In 1986.
Wow.
And the group is still alive.
That's
and
great.
we have a track record of over 2,000 public performances.
Wow.
And at Achimota School, I did literature, English literature.
Okay.
So writing of theatre scripts.
Also, you write, but you act yourself?
Since politics, I've stopped acting.
Okay.
But I've written over 100 stage scripts.
That's great.
Including For the Love of a Woman.
Oh, For the Love of a Woman. I
Yes.
know the play.
Yes.
That's great.
And Nana Dinkra.
Okay.
And, quite a number.
That's great.
Yes.
I think we should be seeing you on stage one of these days. What do you think? Should we expect you on stage? It'll be great to see you on stage.
Yes.
It'll be great to see you.
It's interesting.
Maybe we should do something together.
It makes life interesting.
I know, right? I know.
It makes life interesting.
Now, we don't have much time, but the little time that we have right now, I want you to say something, since it's an election year, especially to the EC, because our future lies in the hands of the EC. And some people feel that the NPP have an upper hand with regards to whatever the EC will do. But you being an NPP member, what do you have to tell the EC?
My only message to the Electoral Commission is that they should play the game according to the rules. They should create the impression. And whether I like it or not, it's all impressions. We must get the impression that they are doing what is right. And once the voters have the confidence that the right thing is being done, there'll be peace. There should be no problem. Every year, every election time, I travel all the way to Brekum in Jene to go and cast my ballot. And I do so, I see people queuing up, going to vote, and the process is taking place. That's all we want. But when we get information, let me tell you something interesting. In my first year, my very first election, I was told that, look, Captain, German's constituency, some ballot boxes are missing. Ballot boxes missing. So I went to German And those days, German was sharing borders with Brekum. So I went there. And in fact, I must confess, because of the electioneering, I was no more afraid of Rollins. He could do his worst.
Yeah.
So I went there, and together with MPP executives and so on, I convened a meeting with the Electoral Commission, the district electoral officers. At the time was called Drobo. And then I told them that, look, the ballot boxes that are missing, they must be found. Otherwise, we are going to make hell. Just as I was speaking, within 15 minutes, I was told that, oh, Captain, we have found the ballot boxes. I said, then do the one.
Oh my goodness, this has been a great conversation. I wish we could go on and on and on, but unfortunately, time will not permit us. Captain, thank you so much for being here. We are very grateful. You've given us a fantastic start to our day. Very, very grateful that you could make it. And we'll definitely call on you again.
Okay,
This is an
you're
election
welcome.
year.
You're
So
welcome.
anything you want to tell Guardians and your viewers who are watching before we go?
Oh, just that let's give glory to Almighty God and thank Him for everything. Almighty God has been very good to me. He has preserved my life. I'm over 70, and it's by His grace, just by His grace. I have 4 children, 2 lawyers, a doctor, and an engineer. And my wife, Gloria, I'm sure she's watching this program. She warned me not to mention her name.
Her name has been mentioned. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on your achievements in life. We are super grateful and super proud of you.
Thank you.
This is all time will permit us for the big interview and, of course, a prime morning. We'll be back again tomorrow from 6 a.m. all the way to 10 a.m. But don't forget that today we have changes at exactly 1 p.m. So do not miss it at exactly 1 p.m. You can send in your messages to us and join the conversation for changes as well. It's 05755-157-5757. My name is Roselyn Felli. I have been doing this with K to the M to the J and the Sieduakamia. And my guest for the big interview has been a captain lawyer Nkrabea Ifadate. Thank you so much for being here once again. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back again tomorrow. Bye.